In the Fixie world, we say, Fixie for life, but sometimes life just gets the better of you. And that's what happened to our dear friend Justin. He quit fixed gear. No beating around the bush, and we're gonna talk about it. Speaking of talking about it, this video is sponsored by Wabi Cycles. To learn more about the bike that I'm rebuilding a habit of biking every day on, and what makes them so good, and what makes me want to ride a Wabi every day, stick around until the end of the video to learn more about them. So you started off with a road bike. How did it get into fixed?
Because I brought my bike often to Velotrap, and Velotrap is super big into fixed gears, everybody just kept linking me all these bikes for sale, and I was like, they look pretty cool. I was like, wow, look at that Bianchi Super Pista, and then look at this Shoutout Mash Parallax or Histogram, or all these cool bikes, or NJS, and I'm like, man, there's just so many to choose from. But one really captured my attention, and it was the Parallax. I didn't know any history behind the collaboration between Shoutout and Mash. And then the more I dived deep, the more I was interested.
Are you part of MASH? I love MASH! Oh my gosh! You from San Francisco? I love San Francisco! Ah!
That was just the beginning of 2022. Yeah, I went to San Jose just to pick up that bike, and I brought it home, I rode it around. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to ride fixed, man. I was gonna give it up in a week. But then I met everybody else. I think at the same time, I was selling a freaking frame pump to my friend Justin. And then he was all like, telling me like, oh, our other friend also has a Parallax, but it's the blue one. We linked up, I met Daniel, I met Alex, and then we started riding together. I actually met you in the alleyway at Velotrap. I was practicing my track standing on my anchor at the time.
It was destiny.
It was destiny.
So did you ride fixed at all before you bought your fixed gear?
No, I got on and I was freaking the hell out. I was like, holy crap, I can't stop. And I was like, all right.
That's the point.
That is true. Forks rake was so freaking like, how do you say, like super angled, steep. Every time I freaking turn, it slaps my freaking foot. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna fall.
That's a feature of that bike. Other than peer pressure and that the bikes look cool, which is how most people get into fixed gear, was there anything else that attracted you to it?
So I've seen a lot of people on Instagram where they're like a big community for this, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then what really was big for me was just meeting new people. I just enjoyed the heck out of everybody's setup, everybody's bikes. It's like an art of each rider. And each one you see, you know, oh, that one's Zach for sure, or this one's Andron's for sure, or that one's mine for sure. Something to also get on and go. So you can go point A to point B and just having this nice, cool, like, adventure together.
Let's get it out of the way. Why'd you quit fixed gear? Where are your fixed gears?
This has always been my go-to road bike before fixed gear. I love the Cannondale CAT series. But this one specifically is the CAT 13. I bought this back in 2022. I think, if I remember correctly, it was only frame set itself by Cannondale. But what's cool about this one is it's a throwback. It's called their Legacy line or Legacy Graphics or whatever. And pretty much it's the old school Cannondale logo here. Gives you a cool like throwback to the C track, the Cannondale track. It has an old school like head badge here still too, which is sick to me, but everything is modern. It still uses brake calipers, which is fine with me. But yeah, this is my go-to right here. Some of the parts has transferred back over here, such as the stem and my bar here. Rest in peace to my Parallax, man. But it's still here.
We're getting to that bike.
Then I have this old beater bike that I picked up from my friend Ronnie and his friend Colin, and I just swapped all my anchor parts onto this. So I don't know if you recall, but we made this joke. I was like, Justin, why'd you even get a Pro 10 if it's a little too long for you? I was like, I don't like single digit numbers, and it has to be an even number. And the nitto bars are still back on there, and then I just kind of just put on like gears onto this thing. This is my city bike where I'm lazy. I don't want to wear clip-ins, so I just have platform pedals.
You said this was your beater, but why are there White Industries
We don't
cranks?
talk about that.
Okay, all right. Next.
This is the Linsky GR300. It's my gravel bike, and it's my first bike that I got
Let me get the drive shot. Ooh.
It's my first time having an electronic shifting group set, and I actually got rid of the Shoutout Mesh SSCX for that. 3.5 bikes. There's the specialized stump jumper that I picked up for like chump change, and I just kind of kept it. I was going to use it as a project bike just for the heck of it.
So you said you had all these beautiful fixed gears. Where are they?
There's an inside joke between you and I that each bike that's featured into your freaking channel has vanished.
Not my fault. I'm not the one selling these bikes.
I pretty much just, what's the word I'm looking for, downsized. And I got to the point where I really, really just loved the Parallax. It was end game for me, had all the parts I wanted. Realized, why the hell is my right knee hurting? And I was like, maybe it'll go away. So I started changing the chainring ratio and the cog ratio, and it still hurts. I'm like, it alleviated a little bit, but I think it got to a point where skidding did not become my friend anymore.
Were you a heavy skidder? Because I like almost never skid unless I really need to stop quick, and I don't have knee pain after like, shoot, how old am I? 12 years of riding fixed.
I just told myself I have a fix here. I'm just gonna skid every time I get the chance to. You can't do that on a geared bike. This is my opportunity. Start hurting my right knee, and that's the one where I pulled the most. I did PT, and they're like, "Are you a gymnastic or anything?" And I'm like, "No, like your leg and your shin and between and then your knee in the middle feels like it's being kind of pulled." So they're like, yeah, whatever you're doing, if you're running or jogging and you're just putting so much force, we should, lower that. We should decrease that. I'm like, okay. Went back home. I'm like staring at the Parallax. Yeah, you gotta go. I was like, you know what? I'm turning 45. So that's the running joke, by the way. I'm turning 30 this year, and I'm like, dude, I'm not entering my 30 with fucked up knees. So I also just thought someone else would appreciate the frame way more than I would and take it way farther. So I sold it to Patrick, which is Patrick Fixie King. My parts are somewhere on somebody else's bike.
As a fixie for lifer myself, why not just put a front brake on, or even, God forbid, go single speed on your fixed gear?
So put it this way, when I had the Shoutout Mesh SSCX, I did go full single speed on that one. And it had brakes. I had a great time, but for me at least, it didn't feel right. That thing was meant to be fixed. I just felt like this thing is meant to freaking just tear up the city and just ride around, man. And as what is it's intended, fixed.
Do you miss the feeling of riding fixed and even like the community of fixed?
I feel like I'm still in the community of the fixed gear. I still like chatting about it. The only thing that I cannot stop right now when I'm riding my road bike is that I still have this like muscle memory. I keep thinking I'm gonna skid and I'm rolling back. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta brake.
Say your knee gets better by not riding fixed. Would you build another one?
Very later. I'm enjoying my 3 little dinky bikes right now.
So did anybody in the fixed gear scene give you a hard time of essentially quitting fixed gear?
I just got a bunch of messages like, no, you're lying, for reals. I got to a point where I took a week or 2 off riding, and then I finally went back on my Cannondale Cat 13. I did a New Year's ride. It was like 56 miles from like, where is it? Cal Expo to Granite Bay and back. No knee pain, okay? No knee pain. I'm like, all right, it's the fixed gear. I made a good choice.
What do you think of the phrase fixie for life?
I'm cringing.
Bring that up because for me, it's like when I ride a bike that's not a fixed gear, I'm like, this is fun. It's just not as fun. So how are geared bikes treating you and compared to fixed?
So I was never really the strongest rider when it comes to like climbs. So even climbing with a fixed gear, holy crap, man, it takes a toll off me. So I enjoyed the hell out of fixed gear when it was locally. With geared bikes, I enjoyed just going, for me at least, going further with the ability to just coast, enjoy it, and climbs. It makes it easier. I enjoyed both.
Any words of wisdom for people thinking of quitting fixed gear?
Only quit if it's medically necessary. I have a friend that's trying to get into cycling actually. Yeah. And he's a big fan of yours, and he always watches your videos, and he actually keeps asking me like, should I get into fixed gear? Which is funny how you're bringing up fixed gear.
Yes.
But he and I have this thing called GOML. It's GOML. Yeah. It's get on my level. So I always tell him, get on my level, get on fixed, and just give it a go. Because he watches all your videos, which is pretty cool.
Sick.
It's like a big, passionate project that you will get into. It's, you kind of just waive the thought of like, oh man, it costs this, it costs that. Just increments, just slowly, and you will build this masterpiece that resembles you. There you go.
Amen.
Ah, shit!
Wabi Cycles has changed my life, and I'm not just talking about the fact that they give me money to say the things that I would say anyway about them, but rather their bikes are actually so good that it's another thing to look forward to when I get on my bike every day. They help reduce the friction that we have and the excuses that we tell ourselves that we shouldn't ride our bikes or that we don't want to ride our bikes, because they are just so dang fun to ride. And part of what makes it so life-changing for me and makes it so fun to ride is that these bikes are meticulously hand-built out of top-tier Reynolds 725 or Columbus Spirit steel. It has a ride quality that just encourages you to want to get on the bike and encourages you to keep pedaling the bike once you are on it. My Wabi is one of my most treasured possessions because it tangibly improves my life. And if you're looking to get one for yourself, be sure to check out Wabi Cycles, linked in the description. Fixie famous shoutouts to David K, Julian Corona, Brandon Black, Brent David, Mohr, Perez, Onchi, and Brakeless.Illini for helping to make these fixed gear videos possible through their support on Patreon. And remember that life is short, but don't make it shorter, so be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.